Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 signs you definitely aren't training hard enough. Before I get into that topic, if you guys need coaching, check out the link below. Coaching is what I do for a living. I would love to help. All right, so I'm going to break down 7 signs you definitely aren't training hard enough. You can't escape these signs. So if you're unsure about how hard you are training, listen to this video. I'm going to give you the best possible guidance I can. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any feedback on this, and let me know if you think I missed anything. All right, the first one, you're still weak after months or years of training. You've been lifting for a very long time, but you're still relatively weak, or there's no focus on progression or no progression at all. You can't get around this. Now, we're not trying to turn you into a power lifter, and this is something I've said endless amount of times on this channel. But if you are training hard, you're going to have to be focused on your logbook or beating the logbook. You can't build muscle without progressive overload. It is the foundation of everything important in the muscle building process. Again, we're not trying to build end limit strength or powerlifting strength. If you're not adding weight over time and you're still relatively weak compared to where you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, something in your training is broken. All right, number 2, and this is a very telling one. You never have to get up for a set. You never are just standing there in the gym knowing you have a hard set in front of you, or you might feel tired, you might feel a little mentally worn down from work, whatever the case is. You have a hard set in front of you, so you're trying to just tighten your shot group a little bit and really zero in and mentally prepare for what is about to occur. If you never feel like you have to get in the zone for a set, if you never feel like you really have to sharpen your focus and get ready to attack a set, you're probably not training hard enough. The set probably doesn't have enough intensity, probably doesn't have enough push, probably doesn't have enough drive during that, just to get a few more reps. Something is definitely broken in your training. Training doesn't have to be a circus act, and it doesn't have to be anything ridiculous or punishing, but you frequently have to run into sets that you really kind of dread a little bit. You're not looking forward to, not because they're going to beat you up, but because you're going to have to push extremely hard. And it's something you might not feel like doing, but something you need to do. All right, number 3, you look back and you haven't gained really any size in at least 6 to 12 months. You're putting in your time, you're consistent, maybe you're nailing your nutrition, but nothing is happening. There's no growth occurring. There's no size increases. Maybe you're measuring your arms, your legs. Your arms aren't getting bigger. Your legs aren't getting bigger. You're wondering if it's your nutrition. You're wondering if it's your program. You're trying to find some magic program. You're investing time in fitness content. You're worrying about lengthened partials or muscle protein synthesis. You kind of get into that zone where you're spooked a little bit and nothing seems to be working. The reality is you probably have a reasonable exercise selection. You probably have a reasonable program. You probably have reasonable consistency, but you're simply not training hard enough. All right, number 4, and this is going to be a little bit more nuanced compared to the next point, number 5, but you don't know what it means to push a set to failure. You have no idea. You have no idea that the demands of every exercise are different. You have no idea that failure on each specific type of exercise is different. Failure will be different on a press. Failure will be different on a pull. How close you push things to failure on a posterior lift will feel far different than pushing to failure on a bench press. And I am not encouraging anyone to push to failure or anywhere near failure on a posterior lift. That's nothing that I advocate. But you don't know what it feels like from personal experience to push each of these exercises deep. If you're sitting there going, I really have no idea. I really have no idea what failure is for bench press, what failure is for a barbell row. I really have no idea how hard to push things during squats. I really have no idea how hard to push things during curls. This is lack of experience that comes from not pushing yourself hard enough, not getting into the gym and pushing sets deeper. And that moves us along to point number 5. Point number 5 is that you've never had to fight through reps. This is something that anyone that is training hard enough has to do. You're going to get to the point, during a set, the first few reps are feeling pretty manageable. And then you're going to get to a point in a set where your brain starts to push back and say, hey, I want you to stop, or stop the set, or this is getting uncomfortable. You're going to get pushback from your brain. This is something that's going to occur when you're training hard. Your brain's going to do everything it can to convince you to stop. And even though you're not in danger, even though you're not at risk of injury, your brain is trying to tell you, hey, your hands are too close to the fire. You need to stop. If you've never had to push back against this mental stress or this mental voice in your head, then you're definitely not training hard enough. If you're training hard enough, there's always going to be kind of this battle in the middle of a hard set where your brain is trying to tell you to stop or to switch off, but you have to push forward. And again, we're not pushing forward into some danger zone where we're going to get injured. We're trying to push forward for that next rep or two when our brain just wants us to shut it down, take it easy, and go sit our big ass on the couch. Number 6, you're never sore or you never mentally feel like you need a break or a rest day. This is a big indicator that you're probably not training hard enough. Now, this isn't always the case for everyone. Soreness is different for every muscle group. So we're not saying your shoulders should be equally sore to your chest, should be equally sore to your quads, etc. My back rarely ever gets sore. My shoulders rarely ever get sore. But during the course of a hard training week, there's going to be some degree of soreness in some of your muscle groups. If not, you're probably not training hard enough. Now, when I first started out, that soreness was pretty dramatic. I've been training for 40 years, and I don't get dramatic soreness, but I can tell, like in my chest, I'll get a little bit of soreness. My triceps, I'll get a little bit of soreness. I never get soreness in my biceps, but I know because I'm getting some soreness in some muscle groups that I'm training hard enough. So if you're not getting soreness in like your back, but you're training it with equal intensity in your chest, and you're getting soreness in your chest, you're likely training hard enough. The other point is you never feel like you really need a break from all the mental agony and stress of training hard enough. The points we just talked about in this video, like pushing back against the mental stress or having to get up for a set, if you don't feel like occasionally you need a break from this, if you don't feel like you need a recovery day, not just from the physical stress and the physical torture of hard training, if you don't feel like you need a mental day off, there's a good chance you might not be training hard enough. And again, this isn't the case for everybody. I mean, if you temper your volume, if you temper things, you might be able to train more frequently. So I don't want to turn this into a rule. But for the average general population guy in the gym that's trying to build muscle and he's not gaining size, he's not gaining strength, if you're that type of guy that just isn't building size, that just isn't building strength, you're never getting sore, it's probably a sign that you're not training hard enough. And number 7, finally, you keep searching for the secret. You keep trying to find the secret that will unlock gains instead of becoming the secret. And here is what I mean. You're constantly changing new workouts or exercises, or you're watching fitness hacks, or you're watching so much YouTube content or fitness content, trying to figure out the puzzle because you don't understand the puzzle, when in reality, the magic is inside of you. It's not the specific training split that matters. It's not the specific selection of exercises that matter. The magic is inside of you, and that's what you need to understand. If you're consistent, if you have a good selection of exercises, if you have a reasonable training split or program, if you have a reasonable bulking diet, and you're not making progress, it's due to these points I've listed in this video. You're not training hard enough. You need to step up your game. You need to do a little bit of self-assessment. Again, we're not trying to punish the body. We're not trying to destroy the body. One of the cornerstones of success is sustainability. But something has to change. You're going to need to do a little bit of self-reflection. You're going to need to figure out a way to kick things up a notch. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.